believe that somebody is doubting a history that Chatoyer outwitted both the France, the French, and the British.
Hey, we're back on another episode. Where have you been? You've been watching the previous episodes. You've been watching the last few discussions we've had with Filbert. I hope you've been learning a lot in these episodes that we've been speaking about. And if you've not seen those episodes, top corner, click on that link, start your journey with Filbert. And also take a dive into learning something new. Maybe you don't know any of these subjects. This is a perfect time to go and watch these videos wherever you may be, at home, on the bus, anywhere you are. Get involved with the videos and see what they're about. So we are again with the man himself. As you should know by now, this face, you should know by now what these videos give you. And today we're going to delve into a subject of the people in the country. And Filbert, there's a guy which is a name which is very prevalent in the country called Chatoyer. He's an indigenous person. So could you let us know more about who this guy actually is?
Chatoyer, that's a paramount name. That's a paramount name for a paramount people in a paramount island. You see it? You see it? Chatoyer is one of the chief, the great historians in our time in coming to the modern era, you know, that built for the 20th century struggle of you know, indigenous cultures, right? This Chatoyer was a virgin because seeing that now represent the heritage time within our people. Chatoyer, I call him a heritage paramount chief. What a lot of people gonna fail to know and a lot of people gonna fail to see is the brilliance of Chatoyer. The brilliance of Chatoyer guiding this country as a free land, not colonized by anyone, and maintaining that struggle for approximately 20-something years. You see, Chatoyer had a great map overstanding of the land, because the first group of people that came to this land was a people called the Grenadines. The Grenadine people come from a nation called Mali. It was just a few of them. You understand? And they were before the colonial, and they were what created the Garifuna people. And Chatoyer was the paramount chief of that group of people, coming all the way from the African culture, the culture of Mali. Because I know that because, you know, these people had stone tools. These people had tools, archaeological tools, stones and different tools that they made, that the people in Africa is who had that knowledge of stones way before. You know, South Africa had knowledge of a stone culture long before anybody outside there know about stones. South Africa know about a stone called bell stone and know how to draw energy from it. So we watch stone cultures, and we watch how them cultures connect people. As what you do. That's why culture is the important aspect of how we reveal ourselves. We reveal ourselves to a cultural identity. Not what a man say, or what a man try to tell me about the cultural identity that relates people to people. Is that how culture responds? So coming from Mali, at the time Timbuktu, Timbuktu was a university of books. A university of books way before anybody else know about university of books. The blacks in Mali had created Timbuktu. And when an empire is created in Africa, it is created by sometimes the collaboration of many different groups of people. It's not just one group of people that create African empire. I need you to know that. Sometimes it's a governing group of people, but other groups of people just help it as well. So this King Mansa Musa was one of the richest kings in the world. And him had ships, many ships. Them say the Queen of Spain had 3 ships. Him had thousands of ships, brethren. Him had big ships, small ships. And he sent them ships to follow the winds and follow the trade winds. And these islands here are the winds, are the trade winds islands. So those ships come to these islands way before anybody discover them islands here. Virtually St. Vincent. And it is them group of black people we come from all the way to Mali. Drift come here, so because the King of Mali had make what we call a tour, like what they call a repatriative tour, and spread the wealth all to the lands in Africa, all up to Egypt, all, because this is the kind of wealth, gold. And then he was the greatest philanthropy for our king. You talk about philanthropy, you just came in the surface of that. Mansa Musa was the biggest one of that. So he sent ships different directions throughout the different areas. And so he migrated people from his empire to these different areas with universal knowledge. Not just people who didn't know anything, Because every ship migrated with a sister ship that had goods, food, seeds, and supplies, water, whatever you need. This is how these men roll. They tell you about Columbus, but they tell you about the true migrators. These brothers was migrators. So time the Muslim come all in a West Africa they now and overtake Ghana and Mali. Most of them knowledge and most of the migration of knowledge had done gone throughout. And you would prove that from the connection of different people who go different areas, leave different hieroglyphs. We have hieroglyphs here that we see in Egypt. We find coins and things on the ground. Here. With Egyptian hieroglyphs here. You understand what I'm saying? So, this is to show you the social bio connection of a people. I think we should properly arithmetic that. And then those people come to these islands and meet these islands with birds and other things. And they add to it the human touch. They start planting and, you know, that group of people became the Sibanese. You know, and then the Indians from all Guyana. You know what I mean? And from all that side, follow the river and come in and join them. So the exchange of culture grew, and the culture exchange, and you grow diverse of people from that. That's how our people go. And then the different runaway people from different islands will come here and add to that. Chatoyer become the great chief of these people, a free people, with land, with ownership to lands, because the islands did belong to them. You see what I'm saying? They had cut it down, they had trim it down, they were the ones who make the road. The French come and add their touch to it, the British come and add their touch to it, but they were the ones who knew it. And Chatoyer was that kind of one. Now, Chatoyer kept up a resistance, a very permanent resistance, because Chatoyer had a lot of diplomatic knowledge. Something you had to know about Chatoyer as well is that he had more than one wife in the island. He had about 5 wives. So them 5 women there could have been from 5 different districts in St. Vincent. That you gotta know that he have children and generation in more than 5 different districts in St. Vincent. Okay, he preserved that. He read into the colonial rapid spread to take the islands and to take the trade winds, and had precautionary prepared himself for such a battle and such a slaughter that went on with his people. So these people is who create the people of the island of St. Vincent. Kalinago, Sibanese, and the Garifuna people. You see? Because the Garifuna people come as the mixture between them. You understand? And you name them and call them Caribs, you name them and call them But these was sanitary people from sanitary places in the Caribbean. You know? Some of the things that they might have claimed that they brought here, it might have been these same people that bring the coconut. It might have been these same people that bring the breadfruit. And the British come and claim, say, oh, I bring the coconut. So how we know that coconut wasn't in Guyana? How we know coconut wasn't in the continents? Because this land connected to the continents. The people in Honduras, the people in Belize, all connected to this land. These were the people you call in mayors and Olmec people. You understand? That connected us from the continent and bringing in agriculture and permanent food sources into the countries that other people come and claim to say. Because I not talk history, you know. I talk biological things that we can prove ancestrally. You know? You bring breadfruit, but you don't know what to do with the breadfruit. So that puzzles me. How you, the Englishman, bringing with something where you don't even know how to prepare. You're supposed to know how to prepare that food if you're bringing it to us. But you don't even know the recipe. You come here now, is we preparing that for you? Because we know the recipe. So how you bring me something that you don't know how to cook? This is the contrary manipulation of our history that we rejoin in we self with. Why you go into them contrary thing there? Oh, you bring coconut, but you can't climb a coconut tree. Show me the Englishman that can climb a coconut tree. You understand? But he can claim that he bring that from some place we never even have coconut before here. How we know it in the Indians that bring it in from Guyana? From the continent. Eh? No, we are look at these things, brethren. We are look at the biofingerprints of our culture and how it relates, how it rejoins us. The story it is telling us is not leaning to the story we're hearing. You couldn't bring us food that you don't know how to climb. You don't know how to eat. You don't know how to... You understand? We had relationship with the continent, with the Maya people. That's why you take us and carry us to Rohan Island. When you done kill the people over in Baliso, you take them, you know what I mean? And you carry them to Rohan Island. That is up to Belize. That is where the culture was. In the western side of Belize is where the Maya culture was. So they actually know the culture that you belong to. So they could have moved you and say, watch, I'm moving out them here and carry them forward to their original set of people. I'm bringing my own set of people because I dominate in here. So that is what they do in Conquest of Chatoyer. You move out the mayors and the real people who connected to the continent, who brought to the land much of it fauna and flora, and the rest came in from Africans. Aye. No. My brother, Chatoyer was the head of these people. And they're telling us that they conquer Chatoyer. You understand? I choose not to believe that. I choose to believe that somebody is doubting a history that Chatoyer outwitted both the France, the French, and the British, and used one to get rid of the other one. Because he knew which one would have been more dangerous for the people linguistically and culturally, so he would have given one preference over, because he would have seen the British spreading. And he would have known, well, it would have been better than the people there under Britain, because they would have get some rights preserved. French would have take over different levels, and linguistically the problem that would have caused Chatoyer don't see that. So what Chatoyer did is play one and the other. First of all, Chatoyer done spread his generation in a St. Vincent. Right? Because Chatoyer had 5 wives. So he know which areas he had them 5 wives there. Where you don't know, I don't know, and nobody don't know how much children each of these wives are. That's why they try to kill the whole population, you know. They try to starve out all the people who've been here and Baliso. Because they realize, well, you know, this man's seed, you know, this man so wittingly, this man high seed and his progeny right through all them people here. So here what we have to do, we have to exterminate them here. So all the people they gather, they try to exterminate them, my brother. Because they was trying to destroy the progeny of Chatoyer and the other great ones. You understand? So what they do, them gather that, yeah. And when they gather that, yeah, when they gather that in certain areas, they try to kill all them people that they gather. You know, in the battle of Chatoyer that went on the hill here, them ain't conquer Chatoyer. Them could have never conquer. What they do, you take over a fort. Because you had a fort there, and that fort was wax rich. Why England don't tell we where all the riches go? That was in the fort on the hill. No, you're trying to say you killed the man. We ain't talking about kill the man. We talking about where all the gold that was in the fort on the hill, where all that gold go. You see? And the other useful riches that belong to the people and the land, where all that go. These is artifacts that tell our story. We're gonna need some access to these artifacts because our stories are there. Why you ain't tell us where them thing go? No, you ain't tell us where that go. You tell us you conquer Chatoyer. How you go conquer the man in the night? In the middle of the night. When all you have is flambeaux coming to him. Where you think he foolish enough to stay there and wait for you? Who is a fighter of guerrilla warfare and gonna watch you coming up an area with flambeaux and big broad light, like broad daylight, standing on a hill and watching you come up? And he know all the road coming off the hill, whether in the night or whether in the day. Dash the hill have more than 8-9 roads off of that mountain, the brethren. You could go any direction. You could go leeward, you could go windward. Any way he could travel. And he could watch you as a strategy. Why is Chatoyer alone you catch? What happened to his generals, his lieutenants? He had advisors. He had people who could read and write and know maritime stories. Where these people there? He had universal minds around him. So where is hierarchy there? Is he alone been fighting? But they don't fight so. They don't fight so, but they think you so stupid that you would fight so. So where's his hierarchy? Where's Chatoyer hierarchy? You tell me you catch Chatoyer and you kill Chatoyer. And then the ritual where the people just have to the chief, that never went on. So you can't identify with that. We cannot identify with that. What went on is when you come up the hill, Chatoyer went windward. Chatoyer went over Bum Bum, went over from Dash the hill, bop, dropping down there, in Annesville went over, Mespo went over, Bam Lanning over in Argyle. You understand? Moving away from the country in Argyle and reaching St. Lucia was easy for Chatoyer. Because he had the people with him. They had maritime, they had canoes. They had known that route. Alright? This is the 17th century coming down there. So how come you can't say, well, Chatoyer end up in Martinique? He come down St. Lucia, he gone over in Martinique. You know? You could go from Martinique to Haiti. When he reaches in Haiti, he is welcomed by an administrator called Toussaint Louverture. Because them had liaison connection as leaders of black nations. Toussaint liaison and Chatoyer and the general in Dominica. And when Dominica was overthrown by the British because they tricked the Dominicans and tell them come they go and sign treaty and drunk them with wine, with strong drink and conquer them. That's how they get into the Dominican. Brethren, Chatoyer have been taking all these examples and coming up with his own conclusion how he will move. He moved and joined Toussaint. Toussaint had 4 other generals with him when he carried out his battle in the 18th century for free Haiti. That is where Chatoyer, in my opinion, spent his last days amongst these generals. You know, Toussaint and the other brothers who was with him. You understand? You never know where they came from, brethren. These brothers was liaison, these brothers had maritime connection with each other because they were sailing things from one another to one another before you and the French came. So what would make them know the route and how to escape from you? You escape, and when he gone, the hierarchy gone. So the people surrender. People ain't have no choice because the intelligenta of the people is not there. The hierarchies and them who really lead the thing and who design the thing. You try to find out amongst the people. So you're worried now that, oh, Chatoyer genealogy must be there amongst these people. And you scrape up where you scrape up. People who didn't live around. The shows, the other set of people, you know where they go? They disappear in villages, brethren. The farm or the villages that you can reach. So I need you to know that. That is the struggle where Chatoyer carry out. Chatoyer had to move out the picture. But I can't see you kill him. Because I see other options. I'm here. I'm hearing stories. I am analyzing. I'm doing my own arithmetic. You understand? So you are refusing to say, well, you know, Chatoyer get rid of the French because the experience of the French was minimal. And he done up and see what the French was going to do. So he moved that out by the British. You know, And I show the French Canadians and all that. Probably he give them. I show them, look them here. Look them that. You over and move out from between there. You gotta know these is battle strategies, Bajin. You fail to say an ordinary man is so intelligent. Well, I man would love to anoint him paramount chief. Chatoyer. These are the kind of battle strategies. Just like you don't want to tell me it's Hannibal that conquer Rome. And his strategy of bringing the elephants over the Alps was one of the highest ingenuity ever. You fail to give the black man these credits, right? Because you don't want to say, well, he was that kind of, mathematically and dramatically. You don't want to ever give credit for intelligence. Why? We give the world writing. We give the world language. And still all want to discredit us. We give the world books. We bring books. We build your first university in Spain, the University of Salamanca, and teach you things. This is our history, our story. Right.
So, signing off for this episode, we hope you picked up as much information about Chatoyer. Maybe you never knew anything about him in the first place, and this video is giving you the informative knowledge, forever knowledge to know about this.
Yeah,
so
ever release.
Absolutely, and what I would recommend is people go down in the comments, put their views on what they would like to say about this, and also, like I mentioned before, go back and watch previous videos. And anything else you would like to say, Filbert, before we sign off?
I would say, give thanks and yesens to I and I, the people, you know what I'm saying? Giving thanks to the Most High, again, for every word and every young. I say, glory be to the word and glory be to the song. Glory be to the voice of His Imperial Majesty, one that is spoken here, there, and everywhere. For thy power is with the people, and thy people is the I people, and will be the I people forever and ever. I man Silla, sign up.
So bless up everyone. Make sure you go back and watch the previous episodes, and we'll catch you on the next one.